What's up, guys? Welcome to the Dream Team podcast, Beyond the Boundaries. We talk about life, love, health, wealth, and happiness. Today we got special guest round two, Drew Wilson from Florida, the leader of Dream Team Florida. Flow Rida, baby. How you doing? How you feeling? There's snow outside. That's crazy. How many times in your life have you seen snow after moving from Illinois, right?
Correct.
Because you grew up in the snow, so this is nothing.
It's pretty normal, but I don't like it. Dream Team Florida in the house.
Yep.
I moved away from the snow for a reason, so it's good to be back. Little doses of snow are fine, but I prefer the Sunshine State.
True. Sunshine State and Hurricane State.
It's all right. Hurricanes are only every blue moon.
That's how you know that he's a official fucking alligator person, dude. He's just lost his mind. He's just like, yeah, hurricanes, bring it on. I have sun.
Yeah,
like,
but you guys, you just said
you down there.
Earlier today, you were like, yeah, it's fun for Christmas, but the snow.
Oh yeah, I hate the snow, bro. But I'm not about to go like 0 dark 30 and be like, hurricanes are fine. You're just you're just in a rocking chair, bro. Just fucking
Yeah, they're all right. They come and they go, and they're gone in a day, and then you pick it up.
You just have a
They
big party.
swept off a couple towns here and there. Nobody cares about those towns, though.
No.
As long as you can still sell real estate.
I've traveled everywhere and no natural disasters here. You can get everywhere in 30 minutes. I'm closed forever.
And, yeah.
Whether I like
You guys
it or
don't
not.
have earthquakes out here?
Hell no.
I mean,
We've had a
occasional,
few over
but
the
Only
last
thing
5
we have
years.
is too many white people.
that's
about the
true.
only natural disaster we have. It's like 90+% white people.
It's been getting
that's-
less.
Amira
white,
hates it here.
We like to keep it in the... No, I'm just
Honestly, moving
Keep
so
it in
from
the
where I
family.
grew up, I honestly don't think that we had anyone that wasn't white, like in our grade school, middle school. Like we had like a black person come to our school, maybe like 8th grade, and then they left. And so moving to Florida was literally me just relocating to
You're
a
the
whole new
minority.
world. Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, my first humbling moment on earth, like I've had plenty, but like really that sticks in my mind was when I started getting money and I went to Florida for the first time and went to Miami and I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, because there's pockets of Florida that are very much just white.
panhandle.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
bro.
White people.
When I was in
hanging
Miami,
out.
I don't know if I saw a white person for like half of a day.
Yeah, we went to that Heat game, and it was just nothing but like Spanish people,
Yep.
black people, people from just wherever, anywhere,
Oh,
all
yeah.
over the world.
I thought it was dope.
I love Florida. Dream Team Florida
Yeah.
could not be a better spot for me.
Florida's dope, dude. I love the ocean.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's a big reason why I moved there was just the waves, the water.
I wouldn't be surprised if you get a few Spokane people that end up going down there, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, you mean like from the team? Like, yeah.
That's why we started these places to have free vacation spots.
Sure.
Only reason.
Oh, dude, yeah, if I could
Snowbird.
Yeah, if I can, like my ideal thing is every year I give Drew $4,000 and just say, "Shut the fuck up! I'm living in your other Airbnb right now. Here's $4,000.
Give me
Don't
that
talk
side of
to
the
me."
duplex real quick.
Yeah, we'll eventually have so many properties that we're just going to have like a small hotel for people that just want to come and stay. Like just
course.
one spot that we just party at.
Hey,
Yeah.
Drew, that next duplex you buy, let me get on that cosign. I don't need any money. Just
Yep.
let me have the second side.
Is Airbnb pretty popping down there?
Very
Yeah.
much so.
You could literally just buy a house, Airbnb it for 8 months, and then the 4 months it's snowing up here, just block it out early. These are the months I'm going to be down there.
Yeah.
And they'll still cash flow.
Yeah, our market is very good for Airbnb. You have to know like what you're looking at, and you have to know some of the nicer like historical or just places that kind of have that vibe that people like to stay at. But yeah, it's deceivingly profitable down there. Like some people think that Airbnb has kind of taken a step back, and I just think that in general, that's like a mindset. As long as you're looking for them in the right places, like they're still making pretty good money.
Yeah.
So,
What part of Florida are you in? Central?
Yeah.
What?
I live in
Eastern?
Lakeland, so it's like basically smack dab in between Tampa and Orlando. Lakeland is in Polk County, which was the fastest growing county in the United States last year. So the biggest county in the state. So we're right smack dab in the middle. When you think of Central Florida, some people say Orlando, Tampa, because those are just bigger, more well-known markets. But we literally are like right in the middle of both of those markets. So I would say that we are as Central Florida as you can get.
How far in between Tampa and Florida? What's the difference between them? Like a
Tampa and Orlando.
2 hour drive or hour drive? Or?
Yeah, hour and a half. It depends on traffic. You have to take you don't have to, but people take I-4, and I-4 is like notoriously hell.
So 45 minutes for you for both ways.
Yeah, Orlando is like 45 minutes to an hour based on traffic, and Tampa is like 30 to 35 minutes or so.
Sick.
Yep.
Good, good place to stop in between, sell some real
Definitely.
estate.
Yeah, and that's been a big over the pandemic. People who now are working remote, they move to our market where it's cheaper, taxes are lower, and they still are, less than an hour from Disney, less than an hour from Tampa. They're an hour from east or west coast. So Lakeland is one of those markets that like we don't have, your big fancy penthouse, high rise, this and that like those big metro markets do. But
You're like a family neighborhood.
yeah, for sure.
That's great for real estate.
Yeah, the people who were born and raised there would say that the whole town has kind of lost its marbles over the last couple of years because of just how the prices have gone crazy and how
course.
people have moved
Yeah,
there.
that's how
but
it was for us for a few
Yeah.
years ago.
yeah,
I think
I see a
our-
lot of similarities between Spokane and
Our
Lakeland
old
in that
median
aspect.
sales price was like freaking
Two-
300, 250,
Like
Yeah.
280.
200.
Yeah, when I got into the business, it was 250s, 260s, and now our median average values are like 350, 360.
Yeah.
So like 100K in the
pretty
last
much-
couple of
Yeah,
years.
it's pretty much the same thing here. People are just losing
Crazy.
their shit.
Inflation.
Yeah, but
Love it. Hyperinflation.
Well, that and it's like Spokane, like everyone found out, like it was like when I started 5 years ago, all of my mentors were like, yo, it's just a matter of time before this place pops off. It's like a hidden secret, and Lakeland sounds like it's kind of the same thing with
Absolutely.
location. It's like same size. Well, I bet Spokane's bigger, but it's kind of like same vibe as Spokane.
A lot of working class. Do a lot of people live in Lakeland for the quietness and cheapness, but drive to Tampa or Orlando for like the big money jobs, or what?
So there's some variety. It's definitely working class, blue collar. I think at its core, there's a lot of farm around the area that have since become, developed, and they're building, neighborhoods and shopping malls and things like that. But along I-4 between Tampa and Orlando, I think they call it. It's like referred to as like the warehouse corridor or the warehouse highway or something like that, where it's so many of these companies from the port of Tampa have these warehouses off of I-4, which is this main interstate.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do travel and work at these big factories and facilities, but there still are quite a few people who are like super local in their roots to farming.
What do you think population is for Lakeland
Shoot.
County?
I can look it up
Polk,
right now.
yeah, look up Polk County.
You won't.
I think Lakeland is probably somewhere like 150,000, 125,000 maybe.
Nice.
Polk County is 818,000.
What about Lakeland? You look that up?
You said earlier that Polk County is the largest county
Yeah, in this-
by
size.
By size,
Yeah.
not by population.
by square miles.
122,000.
Yeah, 122K. So
Still
close.
under populated then, based off size of acreage.
people don't want to hear this, and I know why, but Lakeland still has a lot of room for growth.
Of course.
There's
This
a
is
lot.
my
Dude,
city. Get out.
yeah.
All that is here. All those people that grew up here.
But
Californians, get out of my state.
yeah,
Classic.
so a couple of things.
We're fine here. We're full. Classic.
A
Or
lot of
full.
people that live in Florida that are moving over the last couple of years are moving into Polk County. So the people that are moving from Florida to Florida are moving to Polk County, and the people who are moving from somewhere else into Florida are by the large majority moving into Polk County. So, and Polk County, being that it's the largest, per like the most amount of square miles or acreage, or I don't know how they exactly figure that all out, but there's still a lot that just is empty. There's a lot that are on the southern, eastern, western. The north side is getting developed pretty heavily.
Which is Polk County again? Like, where is all
Center.
the places? Center.
right in smack dab in
Yeah,
the middle of the
'cause-
state.
Yeah, Polk would be the same size as Spokane County and Kootenai County combined.
Polk's big. I mean, when you look at it on a map,
Which are still very underdeveloped as well.
yeah, I think that we're going to see some of this just continued, whether people like it or not, because we've seen in 2024 the least amount of homes sold since what, like 1995 or something like that. So
Yeah.
we're having ridiculously low sales, but I think we're still going to see appreciation in the Polk County market because
What was that stat on the 10 unit sales that you said yesterday?
Yeah, I don't know where this number came from, but out of all of the agents licensed in America in 2024, only 2% had sold 10 or more houses this year. So it was
That's
70
crazy.
some odd percent had sold 0.
Holy moly.
Dude, the last like 4
That's
years
brutal.
to get in like the top
That's
1%,
unbelievable.
bro, you'd have to sell at least 25, 30 homes.
Yeah, it's
Now to get in like the top 1%, you have to have like 12 sales.
yeah. That's
It's like not even, we were talking about it last night, it's not even like the 80-20 rule anymore, dude. That's like a 10-90,
Yeah. It's not-
5-95.
90-10 for
98
sure.
too.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and I just think
That's
that our
insane.
market is like ready for more of it. I think that we're just gonna keep growing. I mean, yes, statistically, like less houses are selling, but I still feel like our market is growing. Our town is growing. There's, luxury apartment complexes. There's new development on
What's
the
your
north
average
side.
days on market? We're like 20,
Yeah,
25 right now ish.
we've seen that take off. So it was like single digit during the pandemic.
Ours was like 2 to 3.
Yeah, and now we're at 60.
What is it now, Jerry?
Wow.
What's our
like 20.
What's our days on market now?
Ellie just did it
Whatever
last
he-
week at last
Yeah.
meeting.
I
That's
looked
what I
at
was thinking. It was like 20. Or
I looked at our numbers the other day on the October, November end report. 60 days on market.
That's
Wow.
insane.
There's almost 5 months worth of inventory there right now.
That's
So-
wild.
To the people out there that whether it's, this is going to be applicable in our market for sure, but in other markets where the days on market is high and the inventory has been growing, a lot of the people who don't really know what their plans are, or we're going to wait, we're going to, don't really figure it out. The people who are finding themselves in the process now, asking the questions now, asking for the concessions from the sellers today, these people who are 100 days on market, like these buyers are getting great deals.
Great
So
deals.
The
30,
price,
40, 50 grand
The
off.
best, the
Yeah.
best deal right now is if you can go FHA, get closing costs with a rate buy down, and you're getting today's price with next year's rate. Like you're
Yeah,
gonna
you
do
could
on
buy
your
down
complex.
in the 4s right now.
Yeah. Like me and my buddy Alejandro, we got someone to like a 5.2, and right now rates are like 6.5. So I'm like, dude, you are getting next December's rate with today's price. It's like-
Insane.
which is crazy because next year, by the time you have to refi, they're not even going to need a refi. They're just going to be good.
and I
You have
remember
equity.
I remember a market not too long ago where people were waiving inspections, waiving appraisals, waiving like all of
Oh,
these
yeah.
things that you would never
Additional
consider
down.
today.
Bringing additional $30,000 down to cover appraisal gap.
You would never see that in this market. You would like the sellers that I'm working with. I've had
I just bought event insurance because I don't trust anybody tomorrow. $200 covered up to $1 million. That
gonna
way,
need
if
bigger-
fucking Gimli over here wants to crawl on the goddamn ceiling like a goddamn monkey, I can be covered in case
Carson
you break
will,
your neck.
Carson will fill him up with all the juice.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I just,
Party juice, Gimli
I was
juice.
Like, I literally texted.
Gimli
I woke
juice.
up in the
Jim Lee Goose.
at like 6:30 in the morning, and I just was like, Brett needs to get insurance.
You had a moment from the Lord.
Yep.
A spider,
Well,
spider
yeah,
senses tingling.
And the girl that owns Mandala, she's like she's gonna ask tomorrow if she can use the Patati's coffee machines, and even there, I was like, event insurance. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to be liable for some $10,000 machine.
I'd be surprised if they let her. Did they?
Well, they're not open, so she'd have to call tomorrow and ask.
Yeah, because that's all their own equipment, small family business.
What about you, Jerry? You got any questions for old?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you because it sounds like Lakeland and is maybe just a year or two behind Spokane.
Yeah,
and
freaking slowpoke.
So, but obviously people want to move to Florida. but
Dummy.
The people who are not in Florida, the kind of the stereotype is that it's God's waiting room. Only old people go to Florida to just retire
God's
and die.
waiting room is crazy.
I've honestly
That's
never
what-
heard
what
that,
does
and I
that
really
mean?
love that.
What does
That's-
that mean?
it means
like,
that's
where
about
you
to
go to
die.
die.
Like
Yeah.
that's where you go to get warm and die.
And Arizona.
I love that, dude.
It means old people retire there and then they just stay there forever until they die. Like
What's wrong with that?
there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just
Just the
asking.
terminology's
What's your
wrong.
question?
If that's
Okay,
really
if everybody
all
would
that it is.
if everybody would stop talking,
We'll
I'll
never,
ask,
we'll
I'll ask
never
my
stop.
question.
We'll never stop talking.
Can only get interrupted 47 times in
48,
one sentence.
47, new president.
Yep. Okay. So my question is,
Caffeine.
knowing that is like how people from the outside of Florida think about it. We had a lot of people moved here during COVID to get out of West Coast cities that were going crazy with COVID stuff, and Spokane saw a big bump. Did Florida or Lakeland, your area, see that, or is it sort of delayed now that the craziness is over, but people are realizing like we want to go to Florida for other reasons?
I mean, you said it was the #1 moved to county in America, which is crazy.
Yeah. I honestly, I'd have to look where I saw that. But yeah, I've seen that numerous times, that it was the most people moved to Polk County. More people moved to Polk County than any other county in the country in 2023. I would imagine it's up there in the top again in 2024. Reason that people, so yes, a lot of people moved during the pandemic. And I think that
I almost freaking moved to Idaho.
Really?
I was like, F this. I went to my favorite ice cream shop. I'm in line, fine, but then I go to order, and this 16-year-old girl doesn't know. She's getting told to do it. Sir, you can't order unless you wear a mask. And I was like, I'm not wearing a mask. I don't have to. And she's like, well, you can't order here. We have the right to refuse business. So I was like, I literally left, went outside, pissed, and started looking at Idaho homes.
we had so many stories like that.
I actually looked at houses and then I got gifted this place, but me and my wife probably looked at like 4 or 5 places. We just couldn't justify the sales price.
Yeah.
It's like $100,000 more over there on average.
Any house we liked over there was $800,000 to $900,000. I was like, yeah.
It's really not that bad. I mean, when you look in certain markets, you can get a place that you definitely couldn't get here for the money. I mean, there's pockets in Florida where your money will go super far.
Same with Texas randomly. It's like you can find a fat house in Texas for like $200,000. I'm like,
sure.
so
So
what?
people are still moving there for, like, the reasons are more of the same. I did not move to Florida for political reasons. I moved there for just weather and just quality of life. And I will say that a lot of my conversations that I do have with, like,
But you're staying for political reasons.
It's been a swing state.
that is one of the reasons
It's
that
not
I
a swing-
do
it's not a swing
enjoy
state
where I
anymore.
live.
Well, not anymore, but it's been.
Because if God forbid some other pandemic happens, unless something happens with like our governor or just like the majority, because like you saw that our state, Florida, made it. You have to show your license. You have to show your ID in order to vote.
Thank
So
God.
when they did that, the entire state turned red, which
Amazing.
fucking mind blowing. Even Miami, which Florida is similar to Illinois in the fact that a lot of the Democratic poll comes from Chicago, and so a lot of the Democratic poll comes from Miami and these big, huge metros like your Jacksonville's. And so seeing the entire state red, like that's something that naturally people are attracted to, just freedom, and whether everyone
Stability.
agrees. Whether everyone agrees or not on like all of the policies that Florida has, like that's not the point. It's the fact that like if shit goes down,
They're
whether
gonna still
you're
live their
gay,
life.
straight, black, white, whatever, like your business is going to stay open. You're going
Yep,
to be able to
stability.
continue to work and make money, and that's one of the main reasons why people are still
Cops
moving
can
here.
be cops.
Yep. Also, our governor, I don't know what the law is or what the bill is, but a lot of first responders, hospital, police, like in these other places where they were defunding or like laying people off, Florida was actually paying them bonuses and bringing people here from the medical fields. There's
Amazing.
a massive growth in like medical down in Florida. So
Love that.
a lot of nurses, doctors, people who are relocating. We see a lot of like midterm rentals, like a lot of people who are here on like short-term visits for just like working in hospitals and stuff.
Zach's microphone awareness is 0
Cannot
out of 10.
possibly not sniff into the microphone every 10
Worst.
seconds.
0. He-
having some allergies.
He's
He won't.
He's upgraded from this.
Oh,
That's what it used to be.
Having some allergies this morning, boys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we saw a massive influx of people, I think, just because Florida was staying open. And yes, I think freedom and politics, I think a lot of that still has a huge draw into like why people move here. God's waiting room is super funny, but there are pockets of that, you know? So like they have places in Florida like the Villages, you know, for a reason. Like these are places that are like your one-stop shop. Like if you've never been to the Villages, it's an experience. It's a whole ass city within the state to where
Really?
it's like they have their own stores, their own restaurants, their own this, their own that. You don't need to leave. You don't need a car because everything that you may need is golf cart accessible. Like the whole.
wow.
And so like, yes,
That's
there are
wild.
these pockets of places where people who are old just say, fuck it, I just want to play golf and do shit like for the rest of my life. And like, yeah, we're definitely still a powerhouse for that type of person. But we also have a lot of like freedom to where like your young entrepreneurs can come and build businesses and have these like really close markets that you can sample. I mean, having Tampa, Orlando, and Miami all within 4 hours of each other is like you could literally just boop.
Does
boop,
your
boop.
MLS reach across to Miami or just Tampa and Orlando?
Yeah, so it does not go to Miami. There's like a gap where
Yeah,
you'd have to have access to a
course.
different MLS. But Orlando
Same.
and Tampa, yes.
That's fire.
Yep.
That's a lot of reach.
Yep.
So I think we should talk about like how all this happened, obviously, because the other podcast was just crappy and in the old studio. So I guess, how we've been probably doing this since like February or March. So I guess these guys might be able to ask you some better questions than I could. But so I can kind of preface it. But the only reason that we're here today is because me and my wife went on a cruise, and then I fucked up the flight schedule. I booked my trip 2 days before anyone was going to be there. And then I messaged him and was like, yo, you want to like come get lunch? I fucked up. He comes getting lunch. We're in the car. We're like joking. He's like pissed at the where he works because of, just inner working drama. Same thing kind of as me, where I felt like I should have gotten more. I don't know if clout's the right word. Probably not. It's more like responsibility, more leadership at where we were. And so I think he felt the same way, and then just kind of got like, not like undermined because he wasn't in authority, but just kind of like looked down on, didn't get the chance. So then we were both bitching about that. And then I was like, yeah, bro, you freaking pussy. You could have been working with me for 4 years, you vagina. And then I made some joke, and he's like, yeah, we should do that. And I was just like, and he was like, no, we should do that. I was like, oh, shit. Okay. And then we called Kyle, and the rest is history. So that's kind of like
That's crazy.
how it happened.
Yeah.
But well, I don't know. Now that you just took your test. You only failed by 3. How many did you fail? Didn't you fail once? Or did you
On
pass
what?
the broker test? Managing broker?
Oh, the first one I missed by 1 question. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's the
yeah.
same kind of shit. So
I missed it by 3 points.
So
I
let's
hate
just say this Friday you pass. We're up and going by January, probably by January, February at the latest. So now that you're at the end of this road, you've done the whole thing. We've been through a whole year of shit. Like what? Talk about that.
Well, you need to remember that the drive from where I'm at to Miami is like 4 hours. So Zach's like, you want to come get lunch? And I'm like, yes, I'm a great friend. I would love to come.
You want to drive to Seattle and get lunch?
Yeah.
That's for us.
Zach's like,
I did
will
not know
take.
about the distance, but
Zach's
You're
like,
in Florida.
he's like, I will not.
That means
take,
you're in Miami. That you're in Florida. You're where I'm at.
When I took my vacation, Zach's like, I would literally not drive more than 3 hours ever in my whole fucking life anywhere. And I'm like, yes, I will come there for a lunch on a Tuesday. Like, so.
Same day too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, gangster. That's
I
God.
would have just flown.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, honestly,
Clearly, Zach would have just flown. He's very good at that, showing up 2 days early, randomly.
I would have been late.
the Heat game was fire. That was awesome. We kicked it, and yeah, we FaceTimed Kyle. It really was kind of just a spitball moment where, I don't know, like Zach and I had both, like Zach's well on his way, and like I'm getting there, and we've met all through this coaching platform, and we've all been friends since then, and like we've been boys, but like we've never had like any connections professionally. We've always just kind of like spit game back and forth to whatever, and we just kind of talked, and yeah, it was very very much connected on some of those aspects of I want more. I don't feel like I'm in the position I should be in.
Big ceiling.
Sure, like the feeling that you just want more involvement, you want more, definitely not the word like clout, but you want more just recognition
Influence.
and influence is a good word. You just feel,
Responsibility, probably.
sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
feel
feel untapped potential. You feel like you're just like dying in the grave selling homes, but you're not doing what you're called to do as a man.
Yeah, it's a bigger picture. It's a vision. It's a purpose. It's a do it yourself. If you can't join a system that has literally everything that you want, need, could ask for, then there are other people inevitably that share that same vision. Zach and I began to talk like in the car, and it was just one of those things where I was like, like fuck it. Like,
Well, it's one of those things too, dude, where it's like what we just went through, I was able to shepherd and give advice because he was kind of going through the same way where it was like
Multiple
like, hey,
people
man,
you got to shepherd because it was a season of the old guard falling off in multiple genres. So you just went through biggest one ever.
Yeah.
There's like 3 or 4 dudes that
So
were going through that, and you were like, "Oh,
One of
what
the
did I just
problems-
go through?" Perfect.
one of the problem it's not a problem. One of the things that Keller Williams has done for me is some of these trainings that they've like some of these trainings that they've encouraged me to go to, and I've paid and I've gone and I've learned. It's actually been very similar to like an awakening with Brian Casella, where you demand more from yourself, you have more respect for yourself, and a lot of affirmation where you're like, okay, these feelings inside of me are demanding more. And then when you go back home to like your local brokerage, and then you're like, damn, this feels very limited. It feels very like there's something that I need to tap into. And instead of the route that Keller Williams wants me to go, which is build a team and become part of our leadership on the committee, and we want you to start these groups within our brokerage. It's like, man, like I want more. I don't want to be just kind of a pillar in the system. Like I want to be the reason. And it forced me to think big. That's one of the things that like they've done on these multiple trainings that I've gone on, is thinking big. And I think maybe in the past I would have shied away from an opportunity like this for sure. Just, I mean, we talked about the other day, Zach, where people are like, there's so much risk and there's so much liability and there's just so much that could go wrong.
Really, all the liability is on fucking Kyle. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's just
if
funny.
there's
Not
something
really,
that can
but-
go right, there's twice as more reasons where it could go. Oh, I messed that up. If there's something that can go wrong, your risk of fear, just think there's always twice the more reasons that it could go right, and it would be successful.
Yeah. I mean, just a higher level of, there is obviously the more risk that you take on, the more that you're just kind of like idling with that like anxiety, I guess you would
edging it.
say. Yeah.
You're
Where
edging.
you're just getting closer to that getting closer to that point where you just
Yeah, closer.
you just
Yep.
Where eventually you just have to bust out.
you have
Yes.
to
You gotta
bust.
break.
Break out beyond the boundaries.
Yep. There's a load
Nice.
of opportunities
Yeah.
out there if you just bust out.
Jerry knows a thing or two. Nick's the master. Nick's like a cum samurai.
Oh my god.
Lord have mercy.
Fuck, dude. A cum ninja, dude.
Come samurai.
Some samurai.
I like
Oh,
that.
that's great. I like
Yeah,
that. We'll give him a shirt. Some samurai.
Yeah, I mean, really, that all these wiener cum jokes. That is
That's
it.
Dream Team summed up in like a 25-minute or second. little
Wieners.
Some samurai. Summed up.
intro. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. But the thing that stuck out to me when we were talking is essentially, you know, he was like, you know, Drew was like, oh, I'm going to get put on game here. And then, you know, when he had some issues of like, I don't like this guy or I shouldn't bring this guy on, he was like just ignored.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it started. And I was able to be like, dude,
But
listen, like I just went through this. I didn't get I had a seat at the table, but had like silenced voice. And it's just like you have to go do your own thing. But I see it like we've said it. I've seen it nationwide at this point.
Yeah.
Where old dudes 40 and up who have actually done their shit right, and I'm not talking shit, like done their shit right,
Popped off.
they're just done. They're done. They're checked out. They're going to cloud brokerages that do everything for them, so they don't have to try.
They're
you
in a
know?
brokerage full of people who did zero sales, 70+%.
Yeah.
So they're like, damn, there's no
Well,
money in this.
what got me, you had just mentioned something that is very important, is that there's this back and forth between being an independent agent, being on a team, being an independent agent, being on a team, and kind of just like trying to plug yourself in and not feeling like it's the right fit. And there are things that you have to be super aware of that, like within you yourself, like, that's not what I want. And if something like that happens, then you just have to make a move. And so I was doing very well on my own independently, and I joined a team with a guy who was like, he still is like a really great mentor to me. But even though he has all of the knowledge, all of the experience, all of the, like everything that I could go to for like an encyclopedia of just experience, right? That's someone that is super important to me. But on a personal level, he could not connect with me enough to know that like what had happened in the team, or, you know, that caused me to just kind of feel like, oh, I'm not a partner. I'm not like nearly as important as I feel that I am, and I need to leave. And it has nothing to do with this or this or this. It has everything to do with the fact that you, even though I've spoke to you like directly about something, the difference in our age and where we are in our lives,
And they're just not going to put you on game, bro.
Sure.
They're not going to do
and whether he even knew that he was intentionally leaving me out or not, I think even that.
Even if you said something, it would just go over the person's head most than likely.
Yeah,
Or,
because-
"Oh, that's annoying." You know, same shit I dealt with.
Yeah, or just not understanding, like, I'm 31 years old. If he's 50-something years old, 58 years old or whatever, like, that's a pretty big difference. So
Yeah, it's pretty hard to go into someone's yard and be like, hey, old man, sit in your fucking chair. I'm mowing the lawn now.
Sure.
It's tough.
Yeah, but
Most
no,
guys
even if
wanna
it's
mow their lawn to their back breaks and they die and they hate their life and die in their yard.
yeah, but most agents, they will bounce around and they blame others and they blame the team and they blame the environment. But if the environment is not what you're looking for, you just need to leave. There's a million teams. Like there's a million ways to join and get plugged in and potentially get put on real estate deals. But like, again, it's a like Keller Williams would say, it's a life by design. If you're not living the life that you want,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Like,
Yeah,
so
we
for
preach
us, this dream team lifestyle, which is like, we're just ourselves. Like,
Yep.
if you're unapologetically you, and the other people around you are just doing the same, and you're all like working with a common goal, like there's less judgment, and also like the people at the top, like they have success. It's proven. They're willing to be an open book with you. They're willing to hold your hand through it. They're willing to just like the willingness to be like, yo, I have money. I want you to have money. I have
good
this.
fruit, good marriages, good bank account.
Yeah, it's shit, I just read it too. It was I'll have to go back and look at it, but basically it's saying that like from someone who has nothing, everything is taken. From someone who has something and who gives something, like they're given twice as much or they're rewarded twice as much, and literally just that, like just a half-ass, weak-ass mentality of people who will get nothing and earn nothing and deserve nothing, or the people who are maybe weird and goofy and working hard and
Amira
building
and
each other.
Johnny cannot work anywhere.
Yeah.
There's no way. Nick Michelle can't work anywhere. There's no managed broker in this town that's going to answer his phone calls. It is not going to happen.
That's crazy. That's actually a Bible verse
It
where
literally-
where that came from.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
parable. There's 3 servants. One was given 5.
Yep.
One was given 2, and one was given 1. And then the master said, "I will be back. Do with these, be faithful and multiply."
Yeah.
And then he comes back, and the guy that got 5, which is Zach, he turned it into 10.
Yep.
The guy that got 2 turned it into 5, which he had a
No,
mathematically
he
a
had-
greater increase from 2 to 5, from
What
5
I
to
read
10.
it was
But
from
and then
2
there
to-
was one, the guy that gave 1, he said, "I thought to my master to be harsh and wicked, so out of fear I placed my talent in the ground,
Yep.
and I just returned it back to him when he came. At least I didn't lose it." The master called that servant wicked and unfaithful,
Yeah.
and he punished him, and he said, "Even what you have will be taken away from you," and he gave that one to the one with 10.
I love
Yeah.
you for knowing that.
That's
I
crazy.
feel like you
I-
have to give back, dude. Like and that's what I told these guys, dude, is I said, listen, you guys are at your peak, of doing 20 to 30 to 40 deals. Like, good. You can do that. But at what point does real estate just start getting very empty?
Hamster wheel.
So it's like at some point you have to start trying to coach people, mentor people, and do something bigger, because you're just going to get on a hamster wheel for the next, 30, 40, 50 years, and it's just like, it sounds terrible,
Yeah, I fuck with hamsters though, but I don't like that lifestyle.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's so dope that you know that, because I literally just read it in my uncle's book. But yeah, literally that mentality is what like
Your uncle
applies-
wrote a book?
Yeah, my great uncle wrote a book. Yeah,
What's it called?
right over there. It's called Selling by the Golden Rule.
Huh. Sounds sick.
Yeah, I'll
That's
let you have
also
it.
his
Treat
uncle's-
others how to be.
That's
how
also
you
his
wanna be
uncle's
treated.
NASA jacket, and he actually worked at NASA, and that's legit a NASA from
Same
NASA
uncle?
jacket.
Different.
Oh man.
Is this the same
Your
uncle
uncles
that
are-
you were telling us about in Arizona, who's like everybody knows him?
That's his
and
book.
Every real estate group, they all know him.
Yeah, so
What's his name?
my great uncle Dale Hillard has passed away a couple of years ago. Dale Hillard was a pastor for
Hail
25
Dillard.
years.
Mm.
Was a pastor for 25 years, became a realtor, got his broker, became became the broker for like, it was called like Western Realty USA, and then he became the president of the Arizona Association of Realtors.
Wow. I wonder if homegirl Lisa Lee knows about him.
I would guarantee it. We
I
went to
guarantee you
Core.
she knows
Yeah,
nothing.
we went to Core and we were at this Arizona MLS or Arizona Realtors building
they had
association,
social
or
event.
whatever.
we went to one of those last year.
What?
Arizona EXP event.
No,
It was
wasn't
not
that.
EXP.
No, not
I know.
EXP.
So it was like
I know.
it was like their association of realtors had an event at the same place that Core was being held, and I just went up to a couple of strangers and like, do you guys know Dale Hillard? And literally, dude, it was like they're fucking just.
Wow.
They wanted to talk to me, and they couldn't believe that I was his relative, and they couldn't believe
That's
that.
generational blessings, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
All
I'll
his
leave you guys
fruit.
the book.
All his fruit generationally, spiritually gets passed down to you. Isn't that crazy?
Dude, Core was it was a whirlwind in all directions. Like that was fire to be able to like talk to people who had like, because I didn't get to meet him as an adult.
So how did Core change your life?
Core made me slow down and look at the amount of stuff that I have to be proud of for the last couple of years.
Good.
It was something that 3-4 years ago when I did that similar exercise where like you look at yourself in the mirror or you take a photo of yourself and you jot down all the things that come to your mind, whether it's, you know, whatever, anything that comes to your mind. And
Good or bad.
yeah. And BC would always say, like, if you want to really like spice it up a little bit, like do it naked. And you'd be looking at yourself and you're just judging the fuck out of yourself. Like, I'm fat and I'm pale and I'm this and I'm that. And
Well, you didn't have to look directly at me when you said all that, but
Wow.
I'll let you go.
Jerry just took a freaking.
He just locked eyes into my soul.
he's like, I'm fucking fat and a loser.
He's staring at a picture of me over there?
Yeah. So when I looked at my photo this time, which was at Core, it was like an actual photo to take the picture of yourself and you go in and you look at it on a day 2.
The naked one, you're just like,
Yeah, I stripped down like in the
Look at my-
social.
look at my dick.
In like the 2 or 3 hour mix and mingle that we did before day 1, yeah, I just walked in that bitch stark nude, and they took my Polaroid at the front door, and I just had my little.
Narcs, dude.
This time around, I looked at it, and like, you know, God's honest truth, it was just night and day different. The way that I think about myself, the way that I feel internally, the way that I view what I bring to the table. And I just know that Core maybe like, so Core wasn't what did all of that. Core helped me slow down, take all of the things that were currently going on in my life that I was like using as excuses to stop doing something, not do something, do more of something. And it took me to like a steady, slow, quiet place where I was just really proud of myself. And then it made me just think really deeply about what I want, where I'm at. And I was super like, yeah, I left with a certain feeling of like, wow, like I'm on the right path. I'm doing the right thing.
Certainty, quiet strength. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Hunter's such a dick, bro. Nick Michelle posted about how he almost got in a wreck up by his house, and all everyone's like, glad you're okay, glad you're okay. And Hunter goes, you should probably sell it.
That damn dog.
He's gonna have a fucking meltdown just because of that comment.
One thing I keep thinking about is how when you're going through a trial, the wilderness, a battle, now that you're on the other side of it, you were in the dark night of your soul for 2 to 4 weeks or 2 to 4 months, but now you're able to bring people along from that experience.
Yep.
This is what I learned. This is how I can help you, which that's super encouraging. Anyone out there going through a battle or a storm right now, just think, who is behind me? Who is in the wake of this storm?
Well, without even details, in the last 2 or 3 months, that's what I've kept telling him too, because he's going through stuff that's like, I'm like, dude, listen, bro, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you've already, and this is what a lot of people don't understand about this journey, this chapter, doing like what I've done and telling these guys, it's like, dude, you don't have a choice. You got to turn the page. This is your only choice. And it's not because you want it to be, and you could take the easy way, and sometimes you should take the easy way. But in his particular situation, I was like, bro, this is what you got to do. This is why you got to do it. It's going to make you a better leader, and you're going to be able to help people through this, and it's going to be good character development for you.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just a different thing. It's like you have to be willing to like put yourself, and that, like that's why not everyone can do this, is because not everyone is willing to do that. So.
Yeah, since in 2015, whenever I first decided to move to Florida from Illinois, there was this series of moments that you stress and stress and stress, and you worry and you plan and you prepare. And then there just comes a time where you say, fuck it, and you rip off the Band-Aid and you kind of go in. And since that decision to move and having like a zero options mentality of like, I don't really care what happens down in Florida, I'm going, like something is going to come from this, good or bad, like I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
Being as cool as we all are, I like to just be super open and vulnerable with people about like what went wrong, because things will go wrong for sure.
Yeah.
And so, but it's important because people need to know that like I'm just like them. I have these fears. I have things that scare me. I have these second guesses, third guesses of my own character, my own self, and and I just do it. Like you just kind of have to say that like, damn, this is not going to look pretty. It's not going to be great the first time around. There's going to have to be 2, 3, 4 attempts, and you just have to have a can-do, positive, just hard-on mentality, right?
The crazy part is Zach is super encouraging. He always says the best MLB hitters of all time fail 70% of the time.
100%.
And that's GOAT all-star. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's encouraging.
Yeah, you strike out 7, or not strike out, but I guess you just don't get on base 7 out of 10 times in your Hall of Fame.
That's fire. That's
You-
super encouraging.
25% is like decent.
Yeah. Notable.
So, yeah, I mean, honestly,
It's not if you fail, it's when you fail what happens next.
Yeah, well, the saying, like, win or learn.
Yes.
It's not win or lose. It's win or learn. And
I don't take L's as losses. I take L's as lessons.
yeah, that's honestly been the biggest thing is the decision to move from Illinois was kind of that initial kickstart of just doing things that are difficult and daunting and realizing that, like, it's not going to be perfect.
Did you have a gut scared feeling? I know you didn't, but just for the story, Zach, first time he heard you, let's start a team, he was like, oh, yeah. Brush it off, and then you doubled down again. Some people get fear. Oh, he rejected me. I have to shy away now, but you asked again right away. I know it's from your years of callous, of door knocking, cold calling, not being offended, taking rejection not as rejection, but as a redirection.
Sure. I don't, yeah. Your question was, like, doubling down on, like, starting, like, Dream Team in Florida. Like, did I have any kind
Yeah,
of,
because like the first time you said it, I was like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah. No, I didn't think that. I genuinely believe in myself, and I know, it's like going right back to core, and like what you had just said. Like, I know that I've put in so much work to get to a level of knowledge and experience and just like a position to help people, whether I'm the most experienced realtor in the world or not. Like, I know that I'm at least at a level to where I can help people and I can like affect change.
Yes.
And so
You know who you are and what you're capable of.
100%. And that was like, I didn't take offense to it at all. I mean, especially not from Zach. Like, we joke so much with everything that you have to be comfortable. And that's kind of how I grew up, just like getting razzed by the guys. Like,
Oh yeah, me and Hunter have been
Yeah.
on Nick's ass for no reason for like a week straight.
Yeah, I mean,
all day.
But
365 days times
that's-
4 years
but
is 1,500 days.
that's
Because
why
what
Shane-
it is what happens is Hunter has been on 10 for whatever
Yeah.
reason, and then it's like food for me. So I'm like,
That's why Shane Gillis
Like a
is
bat,
so
dude.
funny to me, because like we grew up calling each other just gay for no reason. Like,
yeah.
no reason at all. I mean, you would get harassed for like trying hard or like looking good, and people would be like, what are you and you're like, so
I love it.
the callous there
Yeah, you do
comes from
something good.
Unoffendable.
You do something
Yeah.
good, you fucking loser.
Yeah,
Just
but
for
also,
no reason. Yeah.
like, I think some of that comes from like the picture thing, like the picture test or whatever you want to call it, where you look at yourself, and like 4 or 5 years ago, I was looking at myself and I was like, yeah, I'm like, I don't like myself. Like, I'm this or this or this or this. And now, like, I've worked on so many of those things, like internally, like I like myself, and so I'm able
It's
to
easier
look
to
at.
joke too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like
It-
Burnoff and a lot of those guys don't understand that at all. Like the joking and
Sure.
stuff, and then I make fun of the staff because they don't understand it. And I'm like, I remember one guy came up to me and he was like, "Yeah, man, we don't use sarcasm. Burnoff doesn't believe in it." And I'm just like, "You're weak." And he's like, "What?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, bro, you're just weak." And he's just like, "What do you mean, dude?" And I'm like,
That means your armor, you just revealed to me that your armor is penetrable from this side and this angle.
Yeah. I'm like,
That's
yeah,
what
you
you just
obviously
revealed.
just don't understand humor because you're so convinced that if I say
Yep.
you're a cotton-headed ninny muggins.
It could be true.
It's-
Maybe I am.
Yeah,
That means you
yeah.
don't know yourself. You don't
You
believe in
have to
yourself.
be at a point where if you're
Plus,
out
we're
all
South
day,
Park generation.
100%.
Literally South Park generation, so only stupid, funny.
Yeah.
In that older generation, like I even noticed at the last place I was at, I'd say jokes, and I can't believe you say that. I just can't.
when you're out all day with people who are just like digging into you and ripping into you, and you're kind of like tagging along and joking in with yourself, and
Yeah.
you're like doing it to be a part of the joke and the fun, if you go home and you actually start contemplating whether those things are factual or not, like that's a thing that you need to sort out with yourself, because I can promise you, when I go home after a day of just like
Yep.
goofing and hanging out and whatever, like it's not on my mind at all.
Never.
So
It's not a threat.
so when he, whenever there was an initial, like, I don't really know, hell yeah, sure, like, I'm like, okay, like, I didn't take any offense to it. I think that it's one of those things that, like, show me you want to do this. Like, so if Zach's like laughing and saying like, "Brr, brr, brr, brr," it's like, okay, like, I'm gonna like if an expired or a FSBO says like, no, we're not listing with a realtor, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna put on a fucking milkman costume and I'm gonna come back and
Yeah, it's
knock
just
on
like
your door and sell you some milk.
reading the room.
Like,
He's like, oh, he thinks I'm joking. No, I'm serious, motherfucker. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like just reading the room. And so many people just don't read the room. They're just so caught up in their own shit. So, and their insecurities.
yeah, I think that comes from just obviously I have a huge family. We like poked at each other all the time, having guy friends that are in sports. You fucking make fun of each other all the time and
If you
beat each
played
other's
sports,
asses. And
if you played a team sport,
yeah, soccer.
you can't
You
cannot have thin skin.
Yeah, I can just
and
even
also,
tell
like,
in my organization.
I don't
the
know about
different
you
people who
guys.
played sports versus not.
I don't know about you guys, but like, and we always get made fun of for this shit, but like, we used to shower together like all the time. Like after sporting events, like 7th, 8th grade, like we're showering together naked. And like, when that happens,
That was
and
your
you're
favorite part,
and-
probably.
oh yeah, 100%. When you when you're in that situation at
Early
that age,
XP of dropping the soap.
there's dudes that are just like fucking ruthless, and like you're just getting made fun of, and you're like talking shit about each other's dicks, and you're just like having a gay old time. Like that stuff, in my opinion, literally has made me an adult who just like. You take things serious when you need to take things serious, and you can joke when you can joke, and
Yeah.
it's one of those things that you're just like, okay, like
Like I
Also,
said, the last place we were at, I would tell people, like, we would talk about stuff, jokes, and it's, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's so bad. I need to pray so hard right now. And you're just like, bro, it's a joke. What were you saying, Jerry?
I was gonna say that's how you can also tell once you've been in like a team sport environment like that. You can also tell when people are joking and then when people are actually being serious.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like if one of the
Because
guys
those
comes
jokes
up and is
build
like,
camaraderie, dude.
yeah,
They
one
build
of
camaraderie.
somebody on Dream Team comes up and like razzes me about some joke. Hey, gay hat today.
The stupid
And I'm like,
jacket
cool.
joke.
Or my Snoop Dogg Christmas sweater, which is very cool. But if someone makes a joke about it, I'm like, oh, it's a joke. But
Yeah.
if some random person on the street who I don't know and I haven't built that rapport with comes up and is like, I hate your fucking jacket. That guy's probably telling me the truth.
Well, what's really cool too is sometimes in the public, you know, if you live this life of like just not always taking yourself so seriously, you can meet some pretty cool people that will just like meet you and
So-
just razz you, and you're like, but if you know that language, you're like, oh, you know, that's you know, sometimes people say hello, and sometimes people, whatever, you just did.
and
That's
moan at
nice.
you out the window of the car.
yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
I whether I knew that I was doing this or not, since I started working out, there's this like phases when you go to the gym where the first time you go to the gym, it's like you're matching, everything matches, and you're like fucking looking good, and you whatever, right? You look this part. I got to this point where I started wearing just the dumbest shit to the gym. I'm wearing like thrift store, Goodwill, like fucking long johns with holes in them that some guy shitted in, and like a fucking Marvel jacket and a fucking I don't know,
Flip flops.
I don't know, yeah. And I just kind
flip
of
flop in a rain boot.
the taking yourself not so serious and just kind of like whatever, go with the flow, like dress how you want, be the person you want to be, just be comfortable and
That's the dream team. That's why you're dream team, dude.
yeah.
It's
And
a
people,
Create,
but
it's a
create your own
superpower.
character.
there are people who would be like making fun of what I would be wearing, whether they would say it to me or whether it's with their looks or whether whatever. And then there are people who genuinely would be like, dog, like if I had the courage to wear like how you dress.
Yep.
And I'm like, dude, whether you know it or not, whether I know it or not, me dressing this way is me just expressing my like ability to give no fucks.
Yep.
And if you're judging me, that's cool. I feel awesome. Like I'm wearing some, some Dragon Ball Z shirt and some fucking swim trunks and a backwards hat, and I'm lifting more weight than you. And this is just what I do. And like there's guys that I know that I've made friends with from that. People who are just like, dog, if I had the balls to dress like you, like I would do it. And I'm like, dude, stop giving a fuck.
Courage is inspiring, bro. You'll never get hated on from someone doing better than you.
Facts.
Give me 2 seconds, sorry. Yeah, I just wanted the last thing before we hand it over to Alex here is me and Drew were talking about something interesting last night. I actually didn't think about it until I said it last night, but I think there's gonna be a moment for both of us, well, all three of us really, but eventually just gonna be, because he's gonna probably still be a few months behind us because he has 7,000 hours to study. But,
True. Gimli scrolls.
That's crazy. But I think there's going to be a moment in Drew and I's life where, okay, we open the door, right? So sometimes you make decisions in life, and I call it, you open a door. So it's like we open this door, and it's like we are okay, so Dream Team goes from 50 people to like 60, and then we're in 3 different states, one which is a cross country, so we're literally cross country expansion. And then Drew now is a part of this thing that's like a well-oiled machine that's like has a lot of momentum and it's super cool. Everyone between the ages of like 15 and 30 loves this shit, and that's what I've started even noticing this year. Is like, dude, like I'm getting referrals for their like parents are trusting me with their children. I've had 3 or 4 people go, hey, my dad knows you. I'm getting out of high school this year. I want to join. Because why? Because we're funny. People think we're awesome. Like it's so
Freedom.
It's this huge momentum, and it's like I think that there's this thing that's going to happen to me and Drew where we have a lot of fake people enter our life here in the next few months because they're going to want something. Because that door you open, it's like, oh wow, you guys are so cool. Wow, you guys are smart. You know, it's like so it's going to be interesting.
What do you mean fake people?
So
like you're just gonna, because like, okay,
people that ride the hype.
Yeah, people that ride the hype. So you're gonna have fake.
Yeah, we've
people.
had that all 4 years.
I know, but it's gonna be even more so. That's what I'm saying. It's like It's like
There's gonna be this expansion. If you weren't already credible enough, like if what was going on out here wasn't already a buzz, like adding that to your tool belt that we are now nationwide, like we've expanded across the country, like literally all the way across the country, to where now like. The fakeness, I guess you would call it, is just people who want to be a part of something that's like now and and
Clout chaser.
you still need to we still need to have a very, very fine filter on like what is allowed into the system, or be quick to slow to hire, quick to fire. So bringing people in is not going to be a problem at all, but making sure that we are constantly looking at what is in our ecosystem and making sure that like what isn't for us just gets out. Because like otherwise we're going to just jeopardize like who we are as a organization.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing about getting made fun of or getting attacked. If you're truly from confidence invincible, we've had snakes, we've had foxes, we've had wolves that are surrounded in sheep's clothing, but they never jeopardized us. Because obviously we hired them. They were close. Some were 2 to 4 months. Some were 6 to 12 months, but them leaving was very painful and, of course, awkward and distasteful, but it never jeopardized us because that's just how strong we are, which is sick.
Well, also from the top down, the mentality has to be that you're just persevering. You're going through. This is us. Whether you guys, I mean, no offense to like anybody, but like you have to have the mentality that like we're getting through this with or without you. Like so, we are going there, and you can either be a part of it or like you're probably just gonna get left behind.
You could be on the field with us, or you could watch from the sidelines. Either way, we're going to the touchdown.
Yeah, 100%. So this Florida, this like once this all happens here in the next little bit.
It's literally going to be like a month, bro. It's crazy.
The difference is not going to be a little bit. It's going to be like massive. I think that there's just going to be a huge...
Massive. We're going to have 50 people in Florida.
Well, what's really cool is like the way that I've
been set. We're going to have 300 Dream Team
But also...
What I've been setting up with you is like we've already gotten the pretty good rhythm. Like we're probably 85-90% in the rhythm, because the only other thing you can do is really do it and then have like a TC really assisting you more. So... like we're already doing it, which is really nice. But what's good? So I feel like between me and Drew, nothing is gonna change besides like it's way cooler, right? Like it's like, okay, cool,
more official.
Yeah, well, this is cool. So that's gonna be a cool thing. But what's different is gonna be coming from the outside, which is gonna be interesting.
We're also gonna start to see a lot of folks, like as we build more of a profile like nationwide, we're gonna see a lot of folks who see the Drews and the Alexes, and they're gonna be like, I relate. I can, and then that's when we're going to start getting the pouring in of people from other states around the country who are like, yo, these people, and they have the same feelings. There's a million people out there who are going to have the same feelings that we have. They're going to listen to this content. They're going to say, man, I've been having those same kind of like hesitations or those same thoughts with my company or where I'm at.
I'm feeling the same way. Like I'm a unique person. Yeah. And then there's going to be other people, like, again, we'll see, but like the one that we talked to yesterday who's like, I'm like, there's a mutual person we know. And I'm like, I do not like that person. Like, I feel like they're super, just like kind of just all about material things and about the way they look. And they want to be on Selling Sunset. And then that person's like, oh, they're cool. I love them. And I'm like, that's probably not going to work for me, bro. Like, I'm sorry. So it's like those fake things. It's like, so it's like, cool, everyone has a chance, so you study it, you ask more questions, you see if it's going to work, but it's like there's signs and there's things that happen that it's like probably like you're not going to work here because you
Discernment.
like things that suck, and that means you suck. And it's like you can separate it. Cool, you're probably a cool person, you're awesome, but you suck. Like you like stupid shit.
You're not
but
a killer.
But it's also like I could, in their eyes, like stupid shit. They want to be famous on Selling Sunset. I make dick jokes.
Yeah.
You probably feel the same fucking way that I feel about you, dude.
There's
So,
a million zillion people who think that what we think is dumb. Like,
yeah.
what
Good.
we like, but I think that's
We
the
love that.
joy of like America is like you can do what you
Well,
want.
I look at
be
us
what
in like
you
Real
want.
Vantage, like they're another big team here. They're like complete opposite of us, but like we all love and respect each other. It's definitely possible. Like I even think we could probably work together.
But that's
But
because
not everyone can. Like not everyone that's got that like really clean vibe can like Dream Team.
everyone needs to have the mentality that like there's enough room at the table for everybody.
Yes.
Because we at the beginning of this podcast we just talked about the fact that like 70-something% of people don't fucking sell houses at all in this market.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like
And we doubled, almost
so
tripled.
That's what we're doing right now.
We literally almost tripled in this market over the last year.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what we
Everyone else died.
did. Yeah.
Yep.
That we are above our sales goal for the year. Our expectation for this year was to double our volume and double our units, and we are over indexing that currently.
Yeah. So that's the same thing that happened with us. That's why we're just riding the wave.
Yep.
Like a Pikachu on a surfboard, bro.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
All right, well, I'm going to take a shit, and then we can let Alex go.
This is episode whatever with Drew Wilson from Dream Team Florida. We love him. Blessed to have him here. Appreciate you guys watching. Catch you on the next one.